What's going on, guys? What's going on, Thai Squad? What's going on, everybody? So, what if the Dream Team played against the OKC Thunder that won the championship this past season, last season? I think this would be an interesting matchup. Like I said, congrats to all the Hall of Famers first overall. First, congrats to all the Hall of Famers that were inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. But back to this what if. I think if we saw both of these teams meet up in a game 7 series, it would be close. It would come down to the wire. It would be kind of close coming down to the wire because you would have a starting lineup of Chris Paul, maybe Kobe, LeBron, Carmelo, and Dwight Howard as your starting five for the Redeem Team, and then you would have you would have Chris Bosh coming off the bench alongside with Darren Williams, Jason Kidd, Michael Redd, Chris Bosh. Like, I think that team, that Redeem Team, deserves a lot of respect, and I think that Redeem Team could go 82-0 in a regular season. And this is a big what if. Like, on the OKC side of things, that won a championship, you would have Shea, you would have SGA, you would have Chet, you would have J Dub, and the other Jalen. I think when it comes down to who would win this game, I think we seen like the 8 team go against Fame and win a gold medal. I think this team would be more motivated overall. I think the Redeem Team would be motivated because you have the great Kobe Bryant, you have Dwayne Wade, you have LeBron James, you have Carmelo Anthony. Like, both of these teams would get easy money buckets. They would both get easy money buckets at a point where you have a team that's in the Basketball Hall of Fame against a team that won a NBA championship. And if the Redeem Team played, I would say that it would be probably LeBron putting up 17 points, 18 points a game, and Chris Paul like getting a bunch of assists, Jason Kidd getting a bunch of assists, Kobe hitting a lot of jump shots. Like, you would have Shea go off for 30, I think, in this series if this was a series, but you would have certain guys come off the bench for both teams and two good head coaches. Like, if we could see this matchup and see how this game would turn out to be, I would say, like, we saw OKC in the finals just beat the Pacers, even though it went to 7 games in the NBA Finals. The thing is how OKC matched up with the Pacers. I think they would kind of match up with the Redeem Team. I don't think they wouldn't match up with the team that won last year's gold medal the the dream team. I think this redeem team, like having a Coach K, having a Coach K, having Kobe, having LeBron, having Melo, having Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Dwight Howard come be the starters. Like you would have to say that when we see this start, both of these starting fives match up against each other, you would have to say this would be an interesting series. Now, would it come down to the series to see who would win? Yes. It's the same thing like we do with all the what if matchups. Like, it's the same thing like we would say, what if the dream team and the redeem team went against each other? What if the O2 Lakers went against the 73 and 9 Warriors? What if the Warriors, the 17 Warriors, went up against the 04 Lakers or somebody like that? We would say the same thing as what we're saying, because when we bring up certain teams in the Olympics, certain teams in the NBA, or certain teams in the WNBA, we kind of look at it and say, well, it would be an interesting matchup because this player would guard this player. And certain players like Shaq has said that he would dominate the Warriors with Steph, Draymond. Certain players like Dennis Rodman would say that Jordan would dominate the game. But when we bring up teams and we say, what if this team, what if that team, we kind of look at it and say, well, this team didn't win a title, but they made it to the finals. Or this team did win multiple games, had an MVP, but didn't make it to the finals, or didn't win the finals. Or we would say a team won the finals, or won a gold medal, or where does this team, like, go from here? That is what we would all say. But this matchup, I would say for both teams, the highest scorers for all of these teams, I could see all of these guys on both teams be in the double scorage score where one team, where a few guys have like at least 15, 16, 17 points. Because who's going to guard Kobe? Who's going to guard LeBron? Who's going to guard Carmelo, D-Wade, whoever you put in there for the redeem team? Who's going, like, I think if Shea matches up with Kobe or Chris Paul or Darren Williams, I think they would give Shea a harder time because of Shea likes to get to the line a lot. And I know as NBA fans and as basketball fans in general, we look at Shea's game and say he makes it so easy. Shea does. Shea Alexander does. Because let's not forget, Charlotte traded him to the Clippers on draft night and then got traded to the OKC Thunder. Shea is a MVP. So I think if Shea somehow is going against Kobe, Chris Paul, or Deron Williams, or Dwayne Wade, that entire team, the Dream Team, are all Hall of Famers. And we're basically going to see LeBron go into the Hall of Fame again. We're basically going to see Chris Paul go into the Hall again. We're going to see Shea go in the Hall one day. Jokic go in the Hall one day. But when we look at and we say, would this team beat the OKC Thunder? Or would the OKC Thunder beat the Redeem Team? This would be an interesting matchup. I think the final score, if both of these teams were in the finals or in like a play-in game or a playoff game, I think it would go into 7, and both of these teams would go into overtime, and I think the Redeem Team would win. The only reason why I'm saying that is because who is going to stop Kobe, LeBron, D-Wade, Carmelo Anthony? But guys, sub if you're new, and never give up your dreams. And I hope all of you guys are safe out there. And peace.